Okay, so here we have the makings of the project to upgrade my Bluetooth headphones, the ones that I built out of a David Clark ground support headset, model H3335. Uh, right now they work really well. Um, However, it's just you turn them on, you listen to music, you control it with your phone. That's it. Um, So it took a while. I got some other of these little modules here that supposedly would have the microphone work. They don't, anyways. This is a different chip. This is called KCX-BT002. There's different versions. There's like a 1.4 or 1.1, which is what I placed the order for. I got an upgraded 1.6. So previously, the older versions of this, the language is in Chinese. This one's in English. However, what is it? Yeah, I soldered a jumper on voice there, and that basically stops it from talking. It will actually, when you get a phone call, it'll speak out the numbers to you. But every time you turn it on, it says, "Ooh, waiting for the connection," and then connected. It's kind of annoying, and it happens so fast that you basically turn it on and it instantly connects. It's actually like really good. So the plan is to put that and replace the breadboard. I have the same sort of breadboard solution inside of this side of this thing. Charging port is under there. And I have an 18650 battery in here with the whole charging circuit. I might remove the whole charging circuit that has also the USB power. But I also might want to put like a female USB port in there, and that way you can charge your phone off of these, because it's an 18650 battery in here. It lasts quite a long time. So the speakers in it are from a Razer Megalodon headset that I got pretty cheap. These little modules have really nice sound, although they have background like audio interference, like electrical noise. Which is really annoying. I'm hoping this one doesn't have the same thing. I didn't notice it so far in the speakers, which is really promising. But those, I mean, if you had another amplifier and put the volume low, then I'm sure they would be fine. They could use a little more bass. I have some separate headphone amplifiers coming, so that will hopefully work. But the other thing is that this has a working microphone input. Really nice. So I took the microphone out of the Razer Megalodon headset and I hooked up and tested it, and it worked pretty good. Apparently there's some noise and whatnot on there. But it was plugged into my bench power supply at the time, so there's probably mains hum on there. I didn't try making a phone call with it powered by the battery. So yeah, so basically then I'll have a working microphone. I'm going to put it inside of the actual boom microphone. This, I think I super glued this, or maybe just hot glued. It's going to be a pain to get open. But then I'll have the actual microphone working properly. And so then, this is only a 2-conductor wire going between the sides. However, the wire from the control box to the actual headphones for the Razer Megalodon is 10 conductors in there. It's all twisted magnet wire. So I might not get 2 smaller batteries and split them between the sides to equal out the weight. Although I think that would be quite a good thing to do. That way it's not so heavy on the left side here. I'm going to add capacitive buttons. So I have this. I just picked them up to mess around with it, and it turns out it'll be perfect for this project. These are capacitive buttons with a little touch sensor. They actually have a dedicated chip, so when you have them against plastic or something, as soon as you turn them on, they sort of calibrate. If you put it against something, like you turn it on when it's in, like, free, and then you put it up against plastic, it'll trigger, but you have it against plastic when it powers on, and it calibrates each time. And then, on this one, I've removed the LED, and if you jump that A section, which is, let me find my tweezers here. So jumping A is actually just those 2 pins. It's easier to do it on the pins. Then that changes the output from a positive signal to a negative signal, which is what this needs. This needs the connections for, track skipping and stuff sent to ground. And so this chip, you can actually just change it around on that jumper, and then it's easy peasy. I placed an order for some hex inverters, and I'm just going to cancel that order because I don't need them. Why spend the $15? So yeah, so then basically I'm going to have it so that I'll have the braided the braided magnet wire coming across instead of this. It's actually pretty close in thickness. It might not seal sound as nicely as rubber going through a rubber grommet. Oh well. But then the basic rough plan is to have play and pause in the middle here. And then volume down and volume up, and then track... Which way is this? Track forward and then track backwards. These are kind of big, so it might be kind of difficult to get the positioning just where I want. But then, you'll be able to play pause, volume, track skipping, whatever, all on the right side of the headset. It would be really cool to like do a custom thing where it's like that. Is it Bose or something that makes the one? There's a fancy one where it's a touch interface on the right side of the headphone, and you just like swipe up and swipe to the side to do the track skipping and stuff. Swiping would be pretty neat. That's also going to be way more complicated. Doing noise cancelling and these would be neat too, but that would basically be gutting something out. So yeah, I've just been testing this, and it's not actually on right now, so I'll try and... There we go, turn it on, so it has no audio. And so this has just been a test. So when you swap the jumper on this, when you jump that A one, those two pins, it changes this light on to be on all the time, and when you activate the touch sensor, then it turns off and sends a negative signal. So you'll want to take the LED off. In this case, either way, because you're never going to see the lights. Even though it might be kind of handy for testing, the fact that it stays on all the time is really going to suck power. If they, came on momentarily when it did negative output, then yeah, sure, maybe. But, and maybe there's like I got a little chart, but it's like broken English of the different jumper configurations. I might be able to set it to toggle or something. But yeah, it would be good for testing if the LED came on each time you pressed it, but when it's inverted, it's on all the time, so that's kind of useless. So yeah, I'll just do a little quick test, just to show you guys. Oop. Let's get the... Okay, so I got a bunch of whatever songs shuffled, so you'll be able to hear it. Let's go with something that's a little bit louder. There we go, midway through. And then the capacitive sensor, which will be behind the thick layer of plastic, you just press. And so right now I only have one set to track skip. I really don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. So yeah, basically whatever, that's just, it's working nicely. I don't know how it's going to sound. These speakers are real shit. I don't know how it's going to sound with these. I want to do a full video, like clean off my bench and get my camera set up, whatever, down here again. And do a full video. But yeah, this little module is working really nicely. And these capacitive sensors work like exactly how I need them to, basically. With that little jumper option, which is really awesome. And these are super cheap on eBay. This thing, not that much on eBay from what I recall. Pretty much the same as those modules, but this one is actually really good. And it's got a totally different... It looks like a simpler chip, because, I mean, that one's got way more pins on it. And it's also... Oh, that one's got a crystal as well. And a fair amount of passive. So they're actually quite comparable for the other stuff. The other thing, on the antenna, decoupling capacitor from the look of it, or just some sort of filtering capacitor, there is no... I don't think that capacitor there. I don't think there's a capacitor hooked up to the antenna at all. So that's probably why it's getting all sorts of interference, noise, and shit that ruins the sound quality on quiet songs. It's pretty good if you're driving or something. But yeah, these modules here, these KC, BT, whatever ones are good. So get one of these if you're doing headphones or something. And they have more options. They have like the newer one has these other things like DM, DP. I'm not sure what these are. I can't really find anything. There's a phone option. I haven't tried soldering that one. I mean, it still works to answer calls with, which is the pause and play button. No separate button for that, which is good. So yeah, you can turn the language off. You could probably change it to Chinese if you wanted. And yeah, so it's got a removable connector if you want to pop it in and out. I might keep that on there. Or I'll just desolder it and directly solder onto these things. But yeah, these are good modules. So sometime in the future, you'll see a video of me integrating that, hopefully successfully, into this headset. The microphone I'll probably do separately just because there's a big element in there that I'm going to have to like drill out, but I want to keep the same external appearance. I could also just put the microphone behind that little hole there, which might work, and then you keep that thing there. Not a big difference in distance for when you're positioning it. But yeah, I'll probably just put that microphone in there, because it's literally just like, oh, let's glue this thing in there, solder the wires internally, and then the wires are already loose inside of the headset itself. So that I'll probably do separately, but for the actual main integration, I'll post the whole video up.